There are those who need a minute or two to warm up to get the season started. And then there's him.
That's right. Red hot. Red hot. Red hot. Follow me. Don't do as I say. Come with me. Let's get paid together.
It's Sure Shot. We're taking them now. Welcome to Sure Shot, boys and girls. It's your holiday stimulus package to make everybody's wish list a little bit brighter. I'm Mark Gray.
And I am Chad Morton. And when you say holiday stimulus package, what holiday is it? Well, every week's a holiday with the NFL, no, right?
Well, that is true. It's Christmas every Sunday
and
go. Monday night. And boy, the gifts just kept on giving last week.
Oh, my God. That was the greatest week of football since the week before, I'd like to say. But I'm going to tell you, 4 incredible games. How about those Cowboys?
How about them Ravens? How about that?
Come on. Hey, and you know what? I got to say, I take that L because I'm going to tell you, I always thought Kansas City was Baltimore's kryptonite, but Lamar Jackson broke through the mold last week.
And I think what stands out to me was the way that the Ravens did it, man. They were down by 11 in the second half.
Who would have thought they could come back against
exactly.
Kansas City? No way.
You figure cancel Christmas. It's like giving the ball to Mariano Rivera, and he just wasn't able to close.
I'm telling you, Lamar Jackson has taken it to another level. Just when you think he can't go any higher, he's at another level. Now he's doing jump passes. What's next? He going to throw it between his legs?
No, he's flipping into the end zone.
Hey, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Whatever works.
And I will say this for Baltimore. The demise of their running game is a little premature, boys and girls. Latavius Murray ran like a beast, and Le'Veon Bell is still on the bench.
Hey, he's still in the practice squad.
Right.
So I don't even know if he made the 53-man roster as of today.
Well, he's learning the system. Murray came in, ran with force, he ran with confidence, and he showed that if he stays healthy, he can fill the void that they were expecting J.K. Dobbins to be and Tyson Williams. I'm saying Baltimore made a whole lot of statements, and some of the warts that we thought with Baltimore were cleared up as other teams, certainly those in the DMV, have warts that are being exposed.
Well, we're going to see about that because Washington came off of a win last week, albeit against the Giants. But I will say this, just circling back to the Ravens. I said in week 1, go back to the Sure Shot, episode 1, I said, don't sleep on John Harbaugh and the Ravens. I don't care how many injuries they have. I begrudgingly must give them their due and their respect. And as long as you got Lamar Jackson behind that center, you got a chance to win. I don't care who you're playing.
But you were the man last week.
Yes,
I mean, you had a phenomenal, 11-1 or something like that?
You flatter me. Something close to that. But I will tell you this week's going to be even better because this week you're going to win because you're betting with me. Ain't that right?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna listen. We'll see if the sure shots are really that sure because you know what happens when they aren't sure, right?
I mean, every now and then nobody's perfect, but I'm just saying overall,
think.
Win with your boy right here. Okay?
You're old enough to remember those commercials. Anyway, that's how we get down on the sure shot. What stood out with you last week, though, for real?
Well, I mean, the Baltimore game, as we talked about it. But how about Washington and the Giants? 2 bad teams that played bad together. But
it was exciting.
Taylor Henke, 330 yards. I think it was 34 for 46.
You're not on that Kool-Aid.
I'm just saying, Ryan Fitzpatrick, good luck wherever else you're going. Because you guys now have a quarterback.
He'll be right back up on this. Taylor Heineke is not a quarterback. He's a stopgap measure. And, again,
stopgaps don't throw for 330 yards.
Yeah,
I'm
they
just
do.
saying in this league.
They're just often renamed as Minnesota quarterback Kirk Cousins. But,
he played great. Yeah. They took an L, but he played great.
And that's the story of his career. I'm a multimillionaire because I played great, but I couldn't win games.
Wait a minute. Didn't he get Washington to the playoffs 1 year?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
It's a sure shot right there.
Okay, that is what it is. All right, so favorite pick from last week. Which one do you love the most? Last week.
My God! Wait, last week's games? I'll tell you what. I went with Seattle, okay, and Seattle let me down. But I'm going to tell you the Steeler game I stayed away from because I knew 5.5 was too much, and the Steelers ended up taking an L anyway. I stayed away and I steered you guys away from that because Oakland is on the rise. They could come out the AFC. My Steelers, we're taking some early blows to the chin.
You mean the Los Angeles Raiders?
Oh, my goodness gracious.
You know.
Las Vegas.
Yeah, that's true.
Las Vegas.
But you know something?
We're covering every city they ever played for.
The Raiders are the most popular team in Los Angeles, and they don't play there. If they played in SoFi Stadium, you wouldn't be able to get any season tickets for the Rams or the Chargers because everybody from Southern California is down with Raider Nation.
Yeah.
You know?
I'll tell you what, if you go into that stadium and you're rooting for somebody else, you may not be able to leave alive.
Oh,
that's a whole other story.
You know, that is a topic for another show. So, back on the other side, we got more of the Sure Shot when we break you off with the best of this week. And I'm going to introduce my dogs who are bigger than him and my Fab Five. It's the Sure Shot. On the other side, our Sultan of the Sports Book. We continue with our Sultan of the Sports Book right now. Corey Parson joins us from Stage, Screen, and Sports Palace near you. Corey coming in hot. Boy, he's like Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton in August. And here we are in September to kick off football season. What's that record right now, bro?
We're looking at 19-9 to start the season so far. So we've been pretty lucky. So if we can keep this rolling, may take a trip out to Vegas to enter one of the big contests and see if we can really bring it home. But I think we've seen the board pretty good now, Mark, so I'm happy to share that information.
And Chad coming in sizzling in his own right, so let's get right down to it.
Good weekend. Get a little money there.
And a couple of different ways that I want to help people out. First off, this proliferation of parlaying. When do you parlay? How do you execute that for the novice like me who's just getting into it?
The most, if you were to talk to somebody who was a sports book owner and operator, they would definitely point you in the direction of parlays because over 60% of the money that they take in comes in off of parlays. Parlays have been very bad ideas. Let me tell you something. It's hard enough to hit one bet, nonetheless, two or three. It's just, they're fun. They're a home run shot. They're a way to try to get to spin a little and get a lot. It's not really the way that professionals do it. But listen, it is a good way to have a fun on a Sunday afternoon. What I would try to do is I'm looking at two favorites at home of minus 200 or more. So pretty significant favorites. You want to get that number, no more than three teams. You want to get that number somewhere to plus money in that plus 200 range. And if you can get that, I would say, might throw some sneaker money on it or some Chinese food money on it. I'm cool with that. But to make that an every week strategy of putting a couple $100 down to try to win a couple $1,000, that is, you are only going to get the sportsbook operators rich like that.
There's some interesting prop bets that come along, and they seem to take a life for themselves, certainly around Super Bowl time and when you get into the big events. What about prop betting during the regular season?
Prop betting during the regular season normally revolves a lot around totals on player performances. So you can bet on how many receptions, say, a Travis Kelce will have, how many rushing yards, say, a Lamar Jackson will have, how many passing yards Dak Prescott to throw for, over under on those numbers. Once again, very, very sharp, good way to lose money. You know what I'm saying? When you look at the prop bet markets and stuff like that. I know this past weekend, the over on Dak Prescott was sitting at 307. Everybody was going to hammer that over because why would Dak Prescott not throw for over 307 yards because the Dallas Cowboys don't do nothing but throw the football. Obviously, somebody must have got in Kellen Moore's ear. They ran the ball effectively this past week, and that Dak Prescott over alone blew up a lot of tickets, a lot of parlays. So you got to be careful with those player prop numbers too. One of the things I will say is this. You may want to ride Lamar Jackson rushing yards while the Baltimore Ravens run game seems to be a little bit in disarray.
Really?
So yeah, I think that's interesting.
Were you feeling that before they beat the Chiefs, or is this something new?
No, I feel that before they beat the Chiefs. It's the lack of, that stud running back out there. You know what Greg Roman is, and that crew is trying to do, scheme Lamar to run. Lamar Jackson rushing props are normally in the 70s, which is crazy considering he's a quarterback.
Mm-hmm. I saw Latavius Murray against the Chiefs. He ran well. I was shocked that there was still that much tread left on the tire. They also got Le'Veon Bell. What do you make of the rest of the Ravens running game as fantasy plays for the balance of the season?
I think, listen, Lat Murray is talented. He's professional. He's not going to run you to your fantasy football finals or your fantasy football championship.
Corey, look into that crystal ball and tell me, how far do you think the Cardinals can go in the NFC?
It's going to be tough because it's a very difficult division at NFC West. So somebody's going to win that division and take one playoff spot, and then you have 6 left. Can the other 3 teams get 3 of those spots? It very well could happen. I think we could have, 4 teams in the division with double-digit wins. But the Cardinals are good. They're well coached. You see what Kyler Murray is doing. Murray right now in the third shortest MVP odds, only behind Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. So I think it's a very good football team, but how do they compare with teams like the Rams, the 49ers, and the Seahawks will really tell the tale of what they're going to be this season.
And Mark, just let me get one more follow with that, Corey. You gave me the top 3 odds-on favorites to win the MVP. Where is Lamar Jackson? Why is he not in the top 3?
Well, because the people are playing better. Patrick Mahomes is still early in the season. You got Mahomes still playing a little bit better. Tom Brady has been off to a very good
Tom Brady.
Lamar
just took him out one-on-one. What you say, Mark?
You're right now, but right now, you know who has higher odds than Lamar Jackson right now? Go Carr, who's off to a real good start to start the season. Yes. Leads the league in passing. The Raiders 2-0. Lamar will push up towards the top as we go throughout the course of the season. But right now, he's still kind of lagging back there in that Dak Prescott, Derek Carr type range.
All right, give me a sure shot pick for the weekend, Corey.
Big number, but I'm going to lay, if you catch it at the right number. Right now, I've seen the Buffalo Bills laying 9.5 versus the Washington football team coming up in week 3. The Tyler Heineke experience has been interesting, but now it goes on the road into a place where it's going to be difficult to play in Buffalo. You don't want to bet it past 10, but 9.5, I like it. I think what we're starting to see is the fallacy of the Washington football team's great defense, where 815 yards in 2 weeks. So I think there was a little bit of hype that came along with the prediction of the Washington football team being the 85 Bears. It hasn't really panned out so far.
Nah. This ain't the 2000 Ravens, bro. Not in D.C., man. They have no linebackers. They have no secondary, and they are vulnerable. And, I think you get your comeuppance this weekend. At 9.5, it may seem rich, but I would take that play. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to, drop a couple ducats on that one. I like that 9.5 number. Everybody knows I'm a burgundy and gold apologist, but I'm a realist with my cheddar. And my cheddar tells me 10 to 14 point game for real outright. So I'm feeling you on that. That is Corey Parson, our something of the sports book. Where can they find you, bro?
At the Fantasy Executive, of course, the work is done on NBC Sports Edge. Cheat sheet comes out every Friday morning. So far this season, 19-9 ATS. So if you was to put $100 on every game, you'd be up $1,000. So it's a nice little something for Christmas.
Again, we are the holiday stimulus package. We're doing the work for you. Just about free of charge. Anyway, thanks a lot, Corey. Always a pleasure. Holla back next week.
Peace.
About that parlay thing, though, it seems like that can be a make or break move if it works out. You and I had a little bit of success with that last year
on the parlay, absolutely, and the only reason
in-game parlay,
right. Oh, the in-game parlay.
Yeah.
See, that one we haven't hit. We don't have that yet in Delaware.
Okay.
But you know what? We've got the multi-game parlay. That's how we started. Although you can bet single games now, but the multi-game parlay with the teaser, good stuff.
Okay, and then this new wave of betting in games, creating another bet when things are about to go down the toilet.
Man, I got to look into that, man. We're going to have to talk to Corey about that a little bit more because I'd love to know and understand how are you going to place a bet in the middle of the game on the winning team? Like, what are the odds on that? It's got to be ridiculous.
It does. Anyway, there are some prop bets that are making their way around right now. Like most valuable player, you got the usual cast of suspects. You've got your Patrick Mahomes.
Right now, who's number one?
Through a couple of games, wow. Tom Brady.
Tom Brady?
Yeah, man. I mean, you look at the way Tom Brady has opened up the season. I mean, he's about 600 yards passing. I don't think he's thrown an interception yet.
I think if the vote were today, now we're only 2 weeks in.
Of course.
If the vote were today, it goes to Lamar Jackson. Hands down, Lamar Jackson all day.
I don't know, hands down for
because
real?
of all the injury. For them to be, if you got to think of it like this, if there's no Lamar Jackson, not only are the Ravens 0-2, they're an ugly 0-2.
Yeah, but what if there's no Tom Brady in Tampa?
If there's no Tom Brady, Tampa still has a chance to win. You know, you still got some solid players down there. And quiet as it's kept, Antonio Brown is having an incredible season.
He is.
At his age, it's unbelievable. Rob Gronkowski keeps going. They can survive a game or two without Tom, but you take Lamar Jackson away from the Ravens, and they are done.
The therapeutic qualities of avocado ice cream sounds disgusting, but it makes for an extended NFL career.
He talked about playing the 50. Was it a joke? Who knows? It is Tom Brady.
Maybe it's the natural version of the blue pill.
Could be. Whatever you got, I wouldn't mind taking some of it.
Tom Brady's blue pill. Anyway, back on the other side, I'm going to introduce you to my dogs and my Fave Five. It's the sure shot. That's what I'm talking about. Dude, I'm looking all over the place for my dogs, and I seem to have found them. These are the underdogs, Chad. You know, my teams that are expected to lose, but I got them winning straight up.
Do you got them winning outright, or do you got them covering? Let's make that clear.
Well, both.
Fans.
Okay,
but you got both.
But in this case of Philadelphia at Dallas, it's the perfect storm. Dallas going home, they're feeling good about themselves. Mm-hmm. They gotta love the position that they're in right now. And you know something? That's when the Cowboys are most vulnerable. Eagles upset. They're a 3.5 to 4 point underdog going in. If you can get them at 4 or 3.5, you take the Eagles. If it drops to 3, you back off and leave it alone. I got right now the Eagles, and it's a 52-point over-under. I think I'm taking the under.
Oh, my goodness. I disagree with you on both of that. I think this is a different Dallas team. I think they're going to start winning when they're expected to win, and they're going to challenge the best. I think, just like I said in week one, that they're going to go to the NFC Championship, and I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think it's going over, way over.
Yeah, but I think 26-24, something like that. That's a 50-point game.
50 point.
And remember, the line right now is 52 over-under. That's how I'm balling right now.
Boy, they're good in Vegas.
They really, really are. All right, and Green Bay at San Francisco, that's another one of my dogs. San Francisco, 3.5 to 4 point favorite right now, which I think is a little rich. But if I can get that without the half a point, I can keep it at 4. I'm taking Green Bay as the road dog, boys and girls. I don't believe that 49ers offense is in sync yet, and I think A-Rod is just a little bit better right now than Jimmy Garoppolo is. I'm beginning to see why people are calling for San Francisco and Kyle Shanahan to go to the bullpen. Could Jimmy Garoppolo be actually old? Maybe Kyle knew something that we didn't know coming in.
Maybe he should have ate avocado ice cream. I don't know. He was up there with Tom. But I'm going to tell you, on that game, you give me 3.5, and I'm going to rock with Green Bay. Green Bay could pull a sneaky upset out there. But you give me 3.5, I think it's a field goal game. I don't think the 49ers are more than 3 points better than Green Bay, no matter where they play. 3.5, I'll take Green Bay. I can rock with you on that one.
All right. Now, to the Fab Faves. These are favorites that I'm looking to cover outright. And we're going to start with your beloved Men of Steel. 4.5-point
You're copying off
favorites
my paper again.
at the crib against Cincinnati. Cincinnati stands no chance. Steelers going to be heated. Cincinnati still figuring out themselves. And we saw the beginning of the next legendary Pittsburgh running back in Najee Harris last week.
Oh,
I
that's
told you coming in, speaking of prop bets, rookie of the year. There's my rookie amongst my faves. I'm taking the Steelers as a favorite to cover at the crib, even if you get them at 4.5.
Well, let me get my people into the money here. Again, maybe a little peeking on my notes. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh minus 5.5. Look for Pittsburgh to come back in a big way. I agree with Mark Gray. The Steelers are going to be pissed off. The fans are upset. We're going to take it out on Cincinnati. Hey, they got a great quarterback at Cincinnati. Great young guy. But this Sunday, he's going to take it on the chin.
This ain't no coming out party for Joe Burrow, not against Mike Tomlin's defense, man.
No, it's going to be bad.
And we haven't even really seen the best of them yet. I'm telling you, man, this team is sneaky good. And when all is said and done in late January, ain't nobody going to want to see Pittsburgh unless Ben Roethlisberger's arm is dead. And that's something we'll be watching. He's got to be on a pitch count for the whole part of the season. I'm going to tell you who else I like. A favorite to cover at home, the gritty, gutty. Nobody circles the wagons. Hey, Boomer, we ain't forgot about you. Like the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo's not only going to beat the Washington football team, they're going to cover. It's an 8.5 to 10-point spread. Washington's offense is pedestrian with Taylor Heineke. All right, sorry, not buying the Kool-Aid. And if you look at what was the fourth-rated defense in the NFL, their back end is terrible. The back seven in Washington is getting no pressure. They can't cover. They've got receivers running abated in the secondary. Linebackers ain't pushing up. If it wasn't for Chase Young, Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat, that defense would be a sieve. I've got Buffalo waxing Washington in Western New York.
Oh, man, I'm going to tell you, 8.5 is too rich for my blood. Anything over 8, anything over 6.
Man.
I wouldn't
Take
take
the
it.
chance.
I'm gonna give you a chance right here. Game 2 for me. Miami at Las Vegas. Look out, NFL. David Carr wants the MVP. He could deserve it. Yeah, I said it. Raiders could be that team that come out the AFC, and if you don't believe me, you just ask Mike Tomlin and the Steelers after that beatdown they gave us at home. It hurts to say it, but the truth hurts. Check it out. Vegas -1 at home against Miami. Take the Raiders all day.
Man,
They're going
put
to ride
your
that
big
wave
boy
to
pants
3-0.
on, bro. Come on, man. A 1-point home dog.
Yeah, one point home fade. I want people.
Yeah, man.
I want them to
a
get
1
money.
point.
You look at
Come
our
on,
studio audience. These people, they look hungry.
man. Yeah, well.
They want to eat.
I don't know. It look like
worry,
they
guys, I
healthy
got
to
you.
me. Ain't nobody over there missing too many meals. Anyway, and my sure shot for the week, home fave. Guarantee it, book it, money in the bank. They are between where you get them, 8.5 to 10-point favorites as we record. Those gritty, gutty Los Angeles Chargers will have their guts spewed across the kingdom of the Kansas City Chiefs by at least 10 points. I'm taking the Chiefs not only to win, but to cover. And you can put a sock in that notion that Justin Herbert is a MVP candidate, at least for this week, because Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are going to be pissed off. And if they get a chance to run up the score, they're going to run it up. The sure shot, Kansas City, a 8.5 to 10-point winner over the Los Angeles Chargers of unincorporated Orange County Annex.
8.5 to 10 is too rich for my blood, and it is a division game. This is going to be a tough one. I'm not at my sure shot yet, but I wouldn't touch that one. I want to see what happens. It's going to be interesting in that divisional game. Let me get you to my game 3. We got the Jets +7 at Denver. Your Denver Broncos. Broncos are an under-the-radar juggernaut, while the Jets are
The Jets.
Yeah, there you go. So look for the Broncos to improve to 3-0 this week. Take Denver. We got one more. You ready for a sure shot? A real sure shot. A sure shot that you can put Well, I would say the mortgage money, but you don't want me to do
No,
that.
we don't want to do that. No
Any
college
extra
fund
funds,
either.
Whatever's in your pocket.
Discretionary income.
If you got something in your wallet, pull it out. Okay.
And if you're thinking about that, get some help.
Your sure shot. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers plus 2.5 at the LA Rams. You giving Tom Brady points? Enough said. Take Tampa in a tough one to extend their win streak to 3-0. But even if they don't win, it's going to be down to the wire. Tampa Bay and Tom Brady plus 2. There's your sure shot.
First time ever that Brady will play in Los Angeles in his career as a pro. That has to count for something. And you know, say what you want about the humility of Tom Brady. This is a big stage.
Huge game.
He's going to be up for it.
Show up and show out.
Man, so look, if there was ever a team that was going to cover big, it's going to be Tampa Bay and TB. What
Now
is
you're
it,
rocking
7?
with me. TB12.
Yeah, TB12.
Yes.
All right, he's 12 now. He's not 7.
I don't know, but I know one thing:
17.
Antonio Brown will be there, Rob Gronkowski will be there, and you'll be there. Watching tight. Get your money. It's your sure shot for week 3.
So don't forget, next week, your holiday stimulus package continues with more of the Sure Shot. For Corey Parson, I'm Mark Gray.
Chad Morton.
The
one and
other
only?
Chad Bot. You know, don't get him confused. Often imitated, never duplicated. This has been the Sure Shot. Y'all holler back now next week.